Welcome back to the Daughters of the Moon podcast. We're super excited for you to be on with us again. And we are excited. Today we have Maddy Stellar on with us. She's a musician, psychic medium, mother, international motivational speaker, mentor, and a million other things. She grew up in a small town where she was constantly told that she was nothing and would never amount to nothing. Fortunately for her, she had learned to reprogram herself, heal, and accomplish everything she ever sets out to do. She's now here to help others reach their highest potential and guide them into being the very best versions of themselves. And we are super excited because we got to meet her through music. And so we've actually met her in person and had the start of some good conversations. So I think this is going to be a wonderful conversation. So welcome, Maddy.
Thank you. Super magical. I'm super excited.
So you kind of alluded that you've been on this path for a long time. Do you want to talk about some of how you got to where you are now?
So, like the spiritual psychic part of all this.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so yeah, this has been something that started for me when I was about probably 4 or 5, was when I first started noticing that something was different. I actually used to see spiders, hundreds and hundreds of spiders that would crawl all over the floor and crawl on people's auras, and they start like sucking people's auras. And I tried to explain this to my parents, and they were like, no, that's not a thing. There are not hundreds of spiders everywhere. And it got to the point where I would cover myself with blankets at night because there was hundreds of spiders everywhere and they were terrifying to me. And I'd watch them like drop from the ceilings and they'd like land on my mom's aura and they'd start sucking the colors out of her. And yeah, for years my parents didn't see it, they didn't believe it, so they just kind of kept pushing it down. And then I started seeing this guy that I called the Sewage Pit Man. And he would crawl out of the sewage pit at my dad's house and come through my window, and he'd be like dripping all of his stuff all over the floor, and he was like decomposing. And I probably would have been about maybe 6 or 7 at this time. And I would tell my parents that he was in my room and they wouldn't believe me. So they ended up taking me to the doctors to get tested for like schizophrenia and bipolar and stuff because I'd hear ringing in my ears, I'd hear voices. I remember launching myself off of my bed because I thought that I could fly because these spirits in my living room had told me that I could fly. And just like a whole bunch of weird stuff like that. And eventually I ended up learning how to just not talk about it because every time I spoke about something, my parents would be like, uh,
She's crazy.
you're crazy. Yeah. So for a long time, I pushed it down until about 15, when I started having visits from my guides, I guess they would have been at the time, uh, who were giving me dreams about how my grandpa was going to die. They were showing me visions of him shriveling up into nothing and then kind of floating off into the sky. And I got brave enough because I trusted my grandpa to actually tell him about these dreams. And he was the first person who was ever like, you know what? I believe you. I'm going to go
Right.
to the doctors. I'm going to go get checked out. So he went to the doctors to get checked out. Turns out he had stomach cancer.
Oh, wow.
And it was about 3 months later when I actually flew to England and I sat with him, and he died in that exact way. He shriveled up into nothing because he couldn't eat. And then when he actually crossed over, he just like kind of floated up and away. And it was a very magical but traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Like looking back on it now, that was kind of the first realization where I had, where I was like, okay, well, maybe what I'm seeing isn't bad, but it's like something there to help me. But it definitely terrified me to the point where I did shut it off for a very long time.
Well, yeah, because
We do that.
anything like that is like it scares us, right? Because we're like, how did that happen? Where did we get that information from?
Yeah. Well, and then to actually like watch it happen, it was like a whole another level of like, okay, well, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
And obviously freaked the crap out of my parents.
I bet. I bet
Yeah.
because right but it's cool because then you kind of leaned into it and then started, and I think you're someone, just from having talked to you, you're really interested in so many different areas that you lean into all these different areas.
Yeah. I mean, I never chose to, but I've just been like pulled into those places like, oh, you can do this now, by the way. Like, oh,
Okay.
okay.
That was the same with me. I couldn't speak about what I was seeing or hearing or feeling because people just didn't want to believe it, right? And I didn't want to look stupid and didn't want people to think I was crazy either, you know. And so you hide your skills and you hide your gifts until you just go, you know what? To hell with them all. I'm going to do my own thing anyway, right? That's the truth. You do. You get braver and you speak out for yourself, things like that, where it takes a while to learn that that's okay, you know,
Yeah.
except for some people don't like it.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially when you're growing up, like, I mean, it's more, people are more open to it now,
Yes, which is lovely.
which is
Uh-huh.
great. But
Yes.
like back then, it was like, the devil. You are
Right.
the devil.
Right. Well, it's so true, right? Like, and it's just funny how we sometimes close ourselves off too from being our true authentic self as far as like, this is who I am. I'm whatever your label is. If you want to throw a label on it, I'm witchy, I'm whatever. And it's interesting the interaction you have with other people because there is a lot of still closed-minded people that
Lots
don't get
Oh,
still,
it or think,
for sure.
but it's
Yeah.
better. It's
but
better.
it has opened up a lot.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel very grateful because mom was already into that stuff. So then it really opened it up. And I know you've got a child, so it's probably opened it up for them as well because you're not going to look at it the same way, right? You're going to inspire that
Yeah, you
spirituality.
want them to be open.
Well, yeah, like he is the reason why I am where I am today because when he was little, he came up to me and because I can see the air between us. So when I look at somebody, I see like the lines and the different colors with my physical eyes. I thought that was normal. I thought everybody could do that. Um, Apparently not. But I was talking to an ex about that, and I was like, "Wow, the air is really thick in here today." And he's like, "You can't see the air." I was like, "Well, yes, you can. Of course you can." And he's like, "No, you can't see the air." And then my son came out of his room and he's like, "Yeah, you can see the air." He's like, "Yeah, there's the colorful grandma over here and there's Judy over there." And he's like naming all of the air particles that he had. And I was like, "Oh shit." Like my kid can do the same thing as I can. And so I actually started learning because I didn't want him to go through all of those, like, seeing the scary monster in the closet and nobody believing you. So when he told me that there was a monster in his closet, I was like, you know what? Let's go check it out because there
Yeah,
might be. And
yeah.
then we checked it out, and sure enough, he had a monster in his closet, and it was just like a lost soul or whatever, right? But yeah, no, it was because of him that I was like, no, I need to get going on this because he's obviously going to have that same path that I do. And he's a number 11, so he's a psychic.
Very cool.
Right.
Very
Wow.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
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 And that's very cool because I think so often, like I know with like both of the boys when I was raising them, um, I was very open because they often would say to me, "Oh, mom, there's a spirit there, or there's this," and I'm like, "Oh, is there? Yeah, okay. Well, is it a good spirit? Is it a bad spirit? Like, what's the feeling you get for it, right?" And they'd
Yeah.
always checked out whatever they said. And so I think because I was raised that way, it was easy to do that. And then if they had questions, they could go to either of us, right, to ask those questions.
Yeah.
And
I
they
see,
did.
that's a great mom. That's a great mom. Like,
Oh,
good for you because I don't know, more kids need parents like that.
Yes, they do because we're active in our minds all the time.
yeah,
And
Exactly.
and we are of just of energy. So, the sooner we accept that, and for our children, the better it is.
yeah. And I think it's good because like now, like my stepdaughter calls me frequently because my grandson, he is quite intuitive and he sees things. So he will see things crawling on the wall, he will see things in the closet, he'll feel the energy out of toys, those kind of things, right? So she'll call me and she's like, "Okay, I'm freaked out. What do I do?" I'm like, "Okay, ask him these questions," right? Because he's 5. Ask him these
Yeah.
questions, but like lean into it. Don't like squash it. Like just don't squash, please don't squash it, right? Like
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
she's so good that way because she does find out about that stuff.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I love it all. So
yeah.
so can you explain more about the seeing the air? Because I think that's so super cool.
Um, Okay, well, it's incredibly annoying, first of all. Like I love the fact that I can do it, but I've noticed how as I've gotten older, the more I've like leaned into it, the more I've practiced it, the harder it gets for me to see regular things. So I used to be a house painter. So painting a white wall, I have a really tough time doing because I can't actually see the white. I see all of the lines and all of the colors, like so they go up and down, kind of like this, and then they go sideways. If there's a spirit in them, then they start womping kind of like this.
Okay.
So I know if there's a person there. And then the womping, it sounds crazy, but the womping will have colors in it.
Okay.
So when I like look at you guys and we're in person, I can see all of the different colors that are kind of like doing this around you. And then also people seem to have this thing above them. It's just filled with geometric shapes. So it's almost like your connection to your higher self or whatever that connection is. I have never been able to like follow that line and find the end of it, but it's just like a tunnel of geometric shapes that continuously like folds in on itself.
Okay. That's cool.
And yeah, so like my son can see it as well. Sometimes there's spiders and stuff that are in there, or like other very prominent things. Like I know when it's my grandma because she has a specific shape and like she does her whomping thing a little bit different than everybody else. But but yeah, it's a thing that I've been able to do since I was little, and I didn't know that it wasn't a thing that everybody could do.
But I think it's cool too, because then obviously when you meet people, you can instantly kind of know if they're a
Good energy
good
or not.
person or bad person, like, as far as getting to know them, like you can then be like, I'm gonna stay away from that person, right? So,
Yeah,
Yeah, go with
yeah.
the flow. It
Yeah,
sucks.
definitely. And like
Yeah.
in the dark, it's brighter too, and I can see way better in the dark. So, yeah, it helps me with like, okay, well, that person has a bunch of like spirits following them, or there's those weird little spiders again.
and I think spiders is very interesting because, like, my knowledge of spiders is like they're so much about creativity. They're so much about,
Spirit.
spinning your web of
Yeah.
creating your life path that where you're supposed to be going. So I think that's really interesting. And I'm certain that your spirituality has really led into your musical career as well, as far as coming up with ideas and songs and things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I channel as well. So a lot of the times I can get myself into that space and I can like um I can pretend that I'm somebody else from a different life or like a past life, and I can get that perspective, that higher perspective from like, the spirit guides of, okay, well, what does it feel like to go through this? Or what would it feel like if I had this? And then I can like craft a whole entire song about it. Or I've the current band that I'm in, they wanted it to be like witchy themed. So I've had a couple past lives as a witch. So I've tuned into those lives and been like, okay, like what was my life like? Not the greatest, but like I can pull those experiences and I can put them into my music.
That's beautiful though.
Oh
That's
yeah, like
yeah.
yeah. And my specialty is past life reading. So like it's so easy for me to go and explore a past life and then bring those experiences back to like today and yeah, just share
Yeah.
those with other people.
It is really cool, and I've gotten into like the quantum healing hypnosis technique,
Oh,
and so
yes.
doing the past lives is really cool, and then going into the subconscious to actually talk to your subconscious to find some of the answers that we bury deep within us has been a really interesting experience of just everybody's different experiences with them. So I love that you do that too, because it's interesting, right? Where we've been, how we've got here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it can tell you so much about who you are too. Like why you have certain fears, why you have certain phobias. Like, you know, for the longest time, I was terrified of water. I had no reason to be terrified of water. But when I first discovered past lives, I realized that I was a part of the Atlantis thing, like way, way back then. And me and my kids drowned. So of course, I'm going to be afraid of water all of a sudden coming out of nowhere and, killing everybody. Yeah. But
Yeah.
like once I figured that out, like now I'm able to go and like I can dip my toes in water and I'm like, hey, don't kill me. We're friends.
Right. I don't want you to just overtake me. Well, and I just, yeah, but it's so true, right? Like it just becomes a part of who we are and where we're going. I have a
Yeah.
question for you. So I have this thing that happens, and I just want your perspective on it. So,
All right.
sometimes when I'm sitting, more often in the vehicle, but sometimes just sitting in general, it's like the car is moving ahead, but I'm not. I'm parked. But it's like my whole body and everything kind of moves ahead and then moves back in. What's your thoughts
Okay.
on
That is so
that?
weird.
Does that make sense
Oh,
to you?
it makes so much sense that you have
Okay.
no idea how much sense this makes to me. Because I thought I was going crazy the other day because I was sitting in my vehicle and it was almost like the road started stretching
Yes.
ahead of me, but I was still staying still. Yeah, so I don't know what that is. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that is, but that
Right?
happened to me the other day. And I saw a couple of videos about people talking about how like it was something to do with timeline stretching.
Time warp. So I'm thinking a time warp.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Yeah.
time warp of some kind.
Yeah.
Because like I've noticed every time it happens, there's like little like minor inconveniences that happen after where it's like time has almost like shifted for me. So I wonder if that's like something that a bunch of psychics are going through. Because if you follow like things like the Schumann resonance, if you guys know what that is,
No.
um, so it's like the heartbeat of the earth, where people follow the heartbeat of the earth. And lately, it's been spiking to the point that it's actually glitching out, which they believe is causing like huge timeline shifts. So that's why they think a lot of psychics and a lot of people are having like these inexplainable things happening to them or like random body aches. A lot of us are going to be starting to have health problems now because the timelines are shifting so fast that our physical bodies can't keep up, and we need to have that crystalline DNA activated in order for us to
Right.
keep up
Yeah. Yeah.
it with like
That makes sense.
ascension and stuff. But that's like one of the things is like this really weird vertigo thing, and
Yeah.
like time
It
is
just
being
makes you feel
stretched.
dizzy, right? Afterwards, it's like,
Yes,
like
yes,
the first time it happened, like I was in the car wash the first time it happened, and it was like, I was sitting there waiting, just whatever and kind of doing whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like my vehicle moved forward and then back. And I was like, what the hell? And then
yeah.
I was like kind of dizzy. And then lately I just get like my ears are so sensitive lately. Like, so interesting that you say that because like they're just so almost like you're going through the mountains, when you're
Mm,
and you get that
Walking.
popping.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
mine are doing that all the time. And it's like, oh, that's weird. This is just, and then
Activations.
yeah,
That's like the first thing that pops into my head is activations. You're having some kind of like activation, but also like you're being pulled. You're being pulled into that timeline with us now.
yeah,
Mm.
cool.
Yeah. Like
Very
all
cool.
of these psychics are going to these places. So yeah, just be like, um, don't be resistant.
Okay.
That's like the biggest thing that I've learned is the more that you resist the changes, the more that you resist and the more that you question, the more that it kind of like recesses you.
Yeah. I find that you just go with the flow because you're
Exactly.
constantly every day, like I find with me, I'm more mature than you guys, but I find that as I'm going, I just don't resist. And I go
Yes.
with the flow because some things that we do don't make sense to others, but they are on your path of where you need to travel and what you need to be doing, sort of thing. So you just can't resist the changes no matter what it is. So you have to be an acceptance of whatever. I was just telling Kim, like I go for walks, and when I'm out in the walks, I'm all over the place. I'm seriously all over the place. I'm trying to listen to things, but at the same time, I'm not remembering anything because my mind's taking me where I need to travel, right?
Yeah.
And what I need to be experiencing. So you're right. Just take it and walk with it, you
Mhm.
know, in every
Yeah.
way.
Thank it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and,
Yeah.
and that makes a lot of sense because I've been spending more time outside too in the evening. Well, not this week, but I have been spending more time outside in the evenings, like staring up into the sky and just like connecting. And
Hmm.
it's just the weirdest thing because I just feel like that's home, right? So then it just pulls me towards it, and then it just yeah, it's it's a weird thing,
Yeah.
but I think it's opening me up more than I have been.
Yeah,
So
because you got the starseed thing going on with you too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
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 yeah,
Definitely starseed for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
I mean, I love all that stuff because I just think it's so cool what we can lean into, right? And not knowing what's out there and what else is there for us to learn. And I'm like an internal learner, so I just want to learn everything about everything, right? I'm like, ooh, I want to do that and that.
Yeah, same,
I
same.
have that problem too. It's
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just like a psychic, like spiritual person thing because like we're here to learn, right?
Hmm.
So we're just
Hmm.
gathering all of the information in order for us to become the best versions of ourselves. And it's an addiction.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. And it's
But
hard to share everything that you learn and know because it's a constant thing. But it's beautiful at the same time, right? Just
yeah.
acceptance. Yeah, acceptance.
Yeah.
What else do you do, Maddie?
That is a big question. Um, I do a lot of stuff like spiritually. I do a lot of house clearings. Like I get
Good.
called to a lot of house clearings, and I do a lot of like dark entity removals. Those are things that I never wanted to do, but my whole entire life I've been pulled into doing it. So that's kind of become one of my specialties as well, is
Yeah.
battling the darker stuff. Um, and a lot of lost souls because a lot of people don't quite understand lost souls and I feel bad for them. So I've actually like learned how to actually help them cross over as opposed to just letting them repeat that same cycle again. So if anybody has a haunted house, and they're like using it as an attraction, I am the last person that they want in that haunted attraction because I'm going to make sure that all those spirits get freed.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they need to get freed, right? Because
They
Yeah.
it's not
do.
fair for us to hold them here on this plane because that's not where they're meant to be anymore.
Right.
No, like they're supposed to be like going to the light. And I find that a lot of the spirits that I do cross over to the light, they never went into the light to begin with because of religion. And it
Okay.
sounds bad, and I don't want to like bash
Mhm.
Christianity or like anything like that, but like they are so fearful of going to hell because of like the tiniest, smallest little like minuscule thing that they did that they don't cross into that light because they're afraid they're going to go to hell. So a lot of these spirits will just be like, nope, not going to cross into the light. I'm just going to stay here. And then they have no way to replenish their energy. So they just become stuck in this like loop and slowly go crazy. And then they don't know who they are. They become like little balls of black sludge, which people mistake for like dark entities. And then they attach onto people. And like, it's just a whole thing. So it makes me really sad that, religion has such a hold on people that they're afraid to cross into the light and would rather be stuck in purgatory forever than
Yeah.
actually like go back
I
to their
love doing clearings because
oh,
it,
yes.
they're so fun. I shouldn't say fun. They can be scary at the same time.
Oh, I've
You
had some
really,
terrifying ones.
and but I mean, it's the same when you go into do a clearing, you never know what to expect, right? And
Yeah.
then when they finally come out of hiding, for you to engage with them, sort of thing, is a whole new experience every single time. And it also sort of heightens your skills
Mm.
uh, for the next one is because I don't know about you, but I too reflect to some negative identities, but they keep getting stronger, which makes us stronger too on how we relate to them, right? So it's really a cool experience to walk with it, and
Yeah.
yeah, it is. It's cool for you.
I actually like just had this conversation with somebody too, because we're like, man, like, why is it that we battle this like super awful dark entity? We kick its ass, and then the next one, it's like we've like leveled up, and now the next boss is even worse. Now we've got to like change up everything and try to like deal with this new darker entity, right? Like, um, I was in Saskatchewan a little while ago doing a whole entire town. I was clearing this town, and I slipped up and it got me, like whatever this dark entity was, it got me and my friend. And it was something that I had never battled before. And luckily, like I have a great team behind me. So we were able to like pull it out. But it got me to the point where like I knew within like a half hour that it had like gotten into my head because I could hear the thoughts. I was pretty aware of my thoughts, but it was just like I've never experienced something at that level before, and had never battled anything that was almost government like. I'm not quite sure. I still don't really know what exactly happened, but it was almost like somebody just pushed a button and all of a sudden my whole entire life got like turned upside down. I was having like weird thoughts. Ran into some lady who um, asked me about like alien possession. It was
Mm,
just like a whole spiral of like weird events, but like eventually, obviously, 2.5 hours later, they got it out of me.
Right. Good
thank
thing.
goodness. Thank goodness you got a good team, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so grateful. Like I teach people how to do this stuff. So I literally called up a bunch of my students and I was like, "Hey, I've been compromised. I can't help myself this time. Like I actually need you guys." And they were really good about it. They all just like teamed up and tackled it together. So,
Very cool.
but
That
you
is
never
very
know.
cool.
You never know what you're walking into until you get there and you're like, "Oh yeah, I've got this." And you get there and you're like, okay, maybe I'm in my head this time."
I had an experience where I found this road and I was a vortex. And when I walked into it and saw it, I saw some white and some dark entities in it, sort of thing. I started talking about it and sharing it, which in turn, people started going down to this road. They nicknamed it Ghost Road. So people started going down there to see the entities that were down there. So now, years later, I'm still getting these messages. So with the last time I was in the area, I went there and I apologized to them for bringing everything to them that way. Because to me, that was pushing things on them, right? And so I went down there and asked them for my forgiveness from them for, to clear myself, sort of thing, did my smudging and worked with it to sort of just release that. And it felt so good because they were really not happy with the fact that I had brought that onto them,
Mm-hmm.
that they were happy living exactly the way that they were there, even though you could see the dark entities, doing this between them, whatever, but they were still satisfied with the way that they were. So it was
Yeah.
definitely an ancient burial ground or something like that that I'd walked into. It was interesting.
Learning experience for sure.
Very,
Yeah.
Yeah.
very.
When I think the more that we can lean into these being learning experiences, the better it is, right?
Yeah.
Because then we just understand and learn how to deal with the different things that are around you.
Yeah, for sure. And
If
yeah, like,
you, no, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. No, I was just saying like, and yeah, like every time you do it, right? Like we're learning, and then the next time when that bigger boss comes in, yeah,
Another challenge.
exactly. Yeah. Then you've got it.
Exactly. So I have a question for you, and we talked about this a little bit before we got online, but you have a spiritual team. Your spiritual team shows you things into the future. Can you share something that they've given you about the future?
Yeah, so I work a lot with the Lemurians, if you guys are familiar with who they are. So what they have been coming through with me for me lately is like this whole, because everybody keeps talking about like the reset of the world, the changing of the world, and how like the world is going to end, the apocalypse is coming, right? Like, so I think that the way that they've been showing it to me, it's not so much as of an apocalypse, but like a ending to what is going on now, like an ending to this 9 to 5 stuff, an ending to this like one person rules the world and everybody else like follows, this inequality type of thing. So the end goal is for them to have utopia back on Earth. And in order for that to happen, all of this crap that they've created has to fall. So the money has to fall, the like elites have to fall, all of this stuff has to fall away. But in order for that to happen, everybody has to be on the same page, everybody has to be ascending, and everybody has to be wanting to shift and break free of all of this stuff that we've had going on for a long time. Because what I've learned is things like the Bible, there's truth in it, but it's also been created for fear to control us.
Mhm.
So we need to break free of all of this controlled fear. The news, as you guys can see, I don't know, like the news has been falling apart. TV is kind of falling apart. Radio stations are being shut down. Like they're not able to broadcast and program us anymore. So like things are happening. We just have to let those things fall away.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 And I do like remote viewing and stuff as well. And like the stuff that we have gone and like learned about remote viewing in 2030 is when things are supposed to start really, really, really falling apart. Um, this is where you should probably have your like little place in the middle of nowhere away from everybody. 2050, a lot of the remote viewers that I work with and follow, they are saying 2050 is going to be when most of the cities are abandoned. So something has happened. Um, my gut feeling is like all these vaccines that they're coming out with, all these diseases they're coming out with, I think they're going to start wiping people out. They're going to start depopulating. But I don't I don't know. I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as like a revolution or a way of like starting new, like actually stepping into the new age. But 2050 is kind of where everybody is seeing the world resetting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So cities being gone, um, no more pollution, no more 5G frequencies. I don't know where you guys sit with all of that stuff, but like I'm not going to go into too much detail about it just for the sake of this, but like there's a lot of stuff that is being done to us against our will, and all of that stuff is going to end. And like,
My theory on that is the people that want to go with the awakening and travel with the awakening will still be around.
yeah,
Anybody that doesn't want to follow the awakening and they want to stay on the other side are the ones that are going to deteriorate and be
yeah,
gone. So is basically we follow the energy. We're going to be going with the energy because we are of energy, and the people that really can identify with that are the ones that are going to be still progressing and making things happen in this world that are good. And
yeah. That's
yeah,
like the timeline splitting, right? Like the thing that they're talking about is like, there's a new Earth that has like a different timeline and the old Earth that has a different timeline, and like it's slowly being pulled apart.
yes,
Mhm.
So yeah, that's exactly what, yeah.
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it's really interesting because as technologically advanced as we're getting, you see a lot of people going backwards, right? Now
Yeah,
people are starting to people are starting to do more herbal remedies to heal themselves. People are starting to do these different modalities to heal themselves
Yeah.
instead of, running to the doctors or, growing our own food, all these things that we used to do. So I just find it so interesting how it's shifting forward but shifting backwards all at the
Yeah.
same time.
yeah.
And
Well, we're supposed to be going back, yeah.
yeah. And I'll be happy when Utopia is here. So I read a book about the like kind of the golden era when this is all happening and when we're like, you know,
Excuse me.
can communicate more with our thoughts than with our words and those different kind of things. And I was like, yeah, bring that on. When's that? Probably not in my lifetime, but bring it on.
2050 is when they're guessing. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Maybe.
It's not that far really for you, if you think about it. It's true. And like you have to have the acceptance of where you are and what you're doing too, right? And where you are on this timeline too. So, because my thing is when I pass, I'm still going to be out there doing my thing anyway. So, it's not the end of all for me. So that gives me a nice feeling because I know that I'm still going to be of mind. So and no matter what, I'm still going to be learning.
Yeah.
That's what I like. So I have no fear of that. So yeah, so I think that accept what you have in front of you, but go walk towards it, like you said, so
Yeah.
that you can bring other people with you as you're traveling through this,
Mhm.
right?
And yeah, I think that's what we're all here for, right? We're here to start gathering the people that are ready and just show them like, okay, it's safe to come do this. Like this is real. You're not crazy. Because like a lot of people who are just having their spiritual awakenings right now, like the first question I get when I'm sit down with reading with somebody is, am I going crazy? Like, No, you're not going crazy. But a lot of people like they think that they're going crazy. So they need people like you guys to just be like, hey guys, let's go. It's gonna
Yeah,
be okay. Like there's no way we're all on the same level of crazy,
That's right.
that's
right?
exactly it.
That's right. Because our minds are all so different. And that's what we're sharing, right?
Yeah.
That independence of freedom of mind and what we want to think and do. That's a nice thing because we're integrating it with each other. And
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
If you had something that you would say to people what they should put into their spiritual toolkit, what would it be?
Probably protection. Like spiritual protection, not only just like from other people, but from just like everything. I would say put like a little tinfoil hat on and like block out all of the different frequencies, all of the different noise, just because watching people just go through like everyday life and all the things that can just be whispering in your ear and disguising themselves as your own thoughts. I've watched those things just take people down. So I believe that like yeah, your spiritual protection is probably like the number one thing that you need to have. Because if you don't know what you're doing and something's talking in your ear, you're gonna think that it's actually just your thoughts, right? Because they can disguise themselves as your voice.
Mhm.
So
That's true.
Yeah.
protection.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Protection's a
Yeah.
good thing.
It's a
Yeah.
good start. Yeah.
It is a good start because I just think that, it's funny lately because I feel energy so much lately. So I'm constantly like cleaning myself off. Like I'll go in the bathroom at work and I'm clearing myself because I'm just like, I just can't take these energies anymore. Like they're just like, it's almost they make me vibrate when there's too
Mhm.
much negative energy. Like my
Yeah.
whole body is just like it's
Yeah.
shaking, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't. I gotta go clear myself. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I literally have like 10 things on me all at the same time because I'm tired. I'm tired of being drained.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is very draining once you start allowing yourself to open up to some of
Yeah.
this stuff, right?
But
And
they're all also the draining is lessons, you know.
Mm,
So there's lessons that come with that draining, right? And
yeah.
that we makes us stronger every time we're introduced to another energy. It makes us stronger because we're also enlightening ourselves enough to come past it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I learned that like being on stage as well, like
I
when
bet.
everybody has their eyes on you, if I'm not like spiritually protected, I literally wear pants where I can shove like hundreds of crystals into my pockets because I like when I'm on stage, everybody's energy is focused on you, and I'm so easily like pulled away and distracted and like overwhelmed. So I just like, yeah, it's a,
It's a
it's
lot.
yeah,
I can
it's
only
a lot.
imagine. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
because people, I don't think understand how much just like even just watching you and what you're doing and your thoughts about, oh, wow, I really like this song, or, whatever it is that we're watching. And those thoughts are
Going out to
still
you.
coming out to you,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, if you were protected, you're going to be getting all of those and be like, shit, what are the words to the song?
I just have to like, yeah, zone out like 1,000 bubbles of protection around me.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you have so much knowledge about so many different
Yes, you
things.
do.
So, can you tell everybody where they can find you?
Uh, so I've got TikTok, I guess. Like TikTok is where I post most of my learning videos. So it's just Eternal Elements on TikTok. And then Facebook and Instagram is Eternal Elements 888. And yeah, I've got a website, which is www.eternalelements.net. And for music, it's just Maddy Stellar Music.
Nice. Awesome. Well, it's been so much fun talking to you. If you had a final thought to leave with us and our listeners, what would it be?
I'm gonna say like don't shut off your psychic gifts. Don't be afraid of it. It's nothing to be afraid of. The more that you step into it, the more that you accept who you are, and the more that you authentically be you, the happier you're going to be because this is exactly where you're supposed to be, is heading towards your highest potential.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. It's
Yeah,
been
it's
so
fun.
Oh,
much
thanks for
fun.
having me.
And yeah, everybody else, we'll see you on the next one.
You bet.
Right. Bye, friends.